Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus Channel. Small drones change the battlefield by making the sky cheap. A quadcopter that costs little can still spot artillery, drop explosives, or force a larger unit to reveal itself. That is why the first line of modern defense often begins with a warning before a shot is ever fired. No drone zones exist because commanders now treat the lower sky around bases, runways, convoys, and command posts as contested space. At Andersen Air Force Base, defenders reinforce that message openly. If an unauthorized drone enters protected airspace, it is not being treated like a hobby. It is being treated like a threat. That shift matters because the military no longer assumes danger comes only from jets, helicopters, or big missiles. It now expects danger from something much smaller, quieter, cheaper, and often much harder to spot in time. That is where counter-UAS training begins. Marines with FastScent and other units run training packages that teach detection, identification, engagement, and follow-through under pressure. The process matters because shooting at a drone is only the visible part of the problem. First, a team has to recognize the airspace is no longer clean. Then they have to classify the object quickly, decide whether it is hostile, and choose a defeat method before it closes distance or hands off information. Against fast, small drones, hesitation is often the most dangerous error. The Army's Mounted Low, Slow, Small Unmanned Aircraft Integrated Defeat System, or MLIDS, represents the most obvious armed answer to that challenge. Mounted on a Joint Light Tactical Vehicle, the system turns a mobile truck into a counter-drone node that can move with the force instead of waiting at a fixed site. Its role is simple in concept and difficult in practice. Detect the drone, track it, and kill it before it can attack or adjust fire. During live fire events, such as Summit Strike 2024 and pre-deployment readiness training with the 44th Infantry Brigade Combat Team, crews loaded and fired the system in exactly that context. A vehicle that might look like another JLTV suddenly became a short-range anti-drone weapon, built to react faster than a small aircraft can exploit the gap. That weaponized ladder does not stop with one vehicle. Marines have also trained to fight drones with M240B machine guns, proving that ordinary crew-served weapons still matter when the target is low, visible, and suddenly close. The process is raw and immediate. Track the movement, lead the target, control the burst, and hope the gunner's timing beats the drone's speed. The same logic appears in shotgun familiarization with the M1014. At first, that sounds primitive, but it follows the same brutal truth as all close defense. If the drone survives to very short range, simple weapons may become the fastest available answer. And then comes precision. The Smash 2000L places a smart fire control layer onto an individual weapon. helping a shooter engage a small aerial target more effectively than with instinct alone. In that moment, the anti-drone fight tightens from base-wide defense to the single Marine behind a rifle. So the pattern becomes clear. No drone zones establish the threat. Counter-UAS training teaches the response. MLIDS gives the force a mobile killer. Machine guns and shotguns provide last-ditch violence at close range. And precision fire control pushes the fight all the way down to the individual trigger pull. The newest gun built to kill fast drones is therefore not just one weapon. It is part of a whole armed ecosystem built around one hard lesson. The lower sky has become another battlefield, and the side that controls it first survives longer. Not every drone defeat has to begin with gunfire. In many situations, the best answer is to break the drone's control, navigation, or freedom of movement before anyone starts firing into the sky. That is where non-kinetic systems such as Drone Defender became important. Army reporting described the Drone Defender V2 as a handheld electronic warfare weapon that can disrupt the drone's control link, GPS, and video feed. It weighs about 15 pounds, can run on battery power for roughly 2 hours, and gives troops a way to shut down a small drone without turning every encounter into a shooting event. The method is different from a gun, but the process is still urgent. The operator has to identify the drone, shoulder the device, aim it like a rifle, and keep the beam on the target long enough to sever the connection that makes the drone useful. The goal is not dramatic destruction. The goal is denial. If the aircraft loses its link, loses navigation, or loses its video feed, the threat may fall, drift away, or become operationally worthless. That is why systems like Drone Defender fit so well into base protection. They let defenders act quickly in crowded or sensitive areas, where bullets may be the worst first choice. Al Udeid Air Base offered another version of that layered concept. The counter-small UAS program there was described as one of the most robust in the CENTCOM area of responsibility, built to detect and defend against hostile drones with mobile, 540-degree protection. That phrase matters because it reflects how seriously the military now treats all-around drone threat coverage. The system is not a single gadget on a tripod. It is a defensive network built to keep working even as the threat approaches from different directions and altitudes. Netting systems push the logic one step further by physically capturing the drone instead of jamming or shooting it. In counter-UAS tests with a drone hunter system, the process is more surgical. Intercept the intruder, deploy the net, and deny the target freedom without spraying rounds or fragments over friendly troops and equipment. In other words, the non-weaponized side of the anti-drone fight is really about control. If a drone can be jammed, cut off, or trapped cleanly, then the force preserves ammunition, reduces risk, and still wins the engagement. The defeat may look quieter, but the tactical effect is the same. The drone stops being useful, and the sky becomes friendly again. These systems also buy commanders' choices. A jammer, a net, or a directed beam can solve a drone problem without automatically escalating to a louder, messier kill in crowded areas. That wider toolkit is now central to modern counter-UAS defense operations. The Marines have been preparing for aerial threats long before small drones became a global obsession. That is where low-altitude air defense, or LAD, enters the story. A LAD battalion's mission is to deliver close-in, low-altitude, surface-to-air weapon capabilities for the Marine Air-Ground Task Force, and, when task-organized, provide command and control forces for ground security in defense of critical areas. In simpler terms, LAD exists to stop what comes in low and dangerous, whether that threat is a helicopter, a fixed-wing aircraft, or now a drone. The traditional LAD weapon is the FIM-92 Stinger, a shoulder-fired, infrared-guided missile weighing about 34.5 pounds. Preparing one is its own ritual. Crews inspect the launcher, confirm the gripstock, connect the missile round, check the battery and coolant unit, and make sure the gunner can shoulder the weapon cleanly before tracking a target. During live-fire qualification, that discipline matters because the Stinger is not a warning shot. Once it leaves the tube, it is the Marines' answer to a fast, low threat that must be killed before it reaches the force. LAD demonstrations make the battalion's broader culture clearer. These Marines do not only fire missiles, they rehearse movement, observation, target handoff, rapid setup, and local security, because low-altitude defense is often compressed into short warning windows. The whole point is to turn a small team into a fast anti-air node that can move with the ground force. Against drones, that instinct becomes even more valuable. Small, unmanned aircraft may not justify a Stinger every time, but the mindset of seeing low, tracking low, and killing low already lives inside LAD. That same requirement appears at sea. A ship also needs answers for close aerial threats. Familiarization training with Stinger launch simulators helps crews understand the missile, the sight picture, and the engagement sequence even in a maritime setting where shipboard air defense is already layered by larger systems. The drone threat at sea only sharpens that relevance, because a small, unmanned aircraft coming low over the water may leave very little time for hesitation. And yet, even the Stinger is no longer the end of the story. LAD has also explored laser weaponry, testing a directed energy answer to the same lower sky problem. The appeal is obvious. A laser can engage at the speed of light, with deep magazine potential so long as power and cooling are available. In theory, it is exactly the kind of tool built for the age of cheap drones. Precise, fast, and less burdened by the cost-per-shot problem that haunts missile-based air defense. At the installation level, public awareness becomes part of defense. Warning signs, reporting procedures, and immediate response drills help ensure that a cheap quadcopter is not dismissed as harmless while it is already collecting information over a protected site. The anti-drone fight starts with no drone zones and awareness, hardens into counter-UAS training, escalates through MLIDs, machine guns, shotguns, and smart sights, then opens into non-kinetic jamming and capture systems. Behind all of it sits the older air defense tradition carried by LOD, where stingers, close-in defense, and now even lasers keep evolving to meet new threats. The newest gun built to kill fast drones is important, but it is only one piece of the larger answer. The real solution is layered. See early, decide fast, jam if possible, shoot if necessary, and never let the lower sky belong to the enemy. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.